FPL game week 27, team selection, my transfer plans, and everything in one video. Game week 26 came into a close just last night, but we have another deadline tomorrow. So in today's video, we'll be going through a review of how my game week 26 team did, my potential transfer plans, and the lineup for game week 27. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button and hit that subscribe, and let's get into it. What's up? It's FPL Vert, where arrows go green, and for the third week in a row, as you can see, they did go green. Yeah. Jordan Pickford was keeping a clean sheet as Everton was seemingly coasting to a 2-0 victory against Manchester United. That was before captain Bruno Fernandes assumed responsibility for his team, rifling in a free kick to kickstart their comeback, digging his team out of a hole like all good captains should. Speaking of holes and captains, Arsenal slipped to their first league defeat at the Emirates Stadium this season against West Ham without scoring. Wonder who their captain is. I started James Hill as I expected Forest to score more goals, which they did. They scored 3 and Wolves scored 1. I just didn't count on Lewis Hall surging forward to assist twice, which I probably should have. And he could have had 3 assists, but his cross was deflected. Brian Mbeumo kicked off the weekend with his first returns since rejoining the team in a 14-point haul on Friday. Isak and Wood traded returns in a topsy-turvy 4-3 result, and Liverpool went to Man City and won 2-0. Keeping a clean sheet for Trent, and Salah scoring and assisting for just the 11th time in this season, the very clear player of the season. But the star of the show this week was Oliver Glasner for some table bonus win. My first table bonus win with the assistant manager chip active, but that's now 3 weeks of table bonus in some form, 2 draws and a win. So very happy with that result, 11 points above the safety score. So just looking ahead at what the FPL schedule looks like, just outside of FPL as well. So of course we have a deadline tomorrow on the 25th of February. Then between game week 27 and 28, we'll have the round 5 of the FA Cup, and we'll also have European midweek. So why am I showing you this? Because mainly for the FA Cup, because of course once we have the round 5 results, we'll get the draw for the quarterfinal, and then once we have the draw for the quarterfinals, we can sort of try to predict what the semi-finals will look like. And then when we can predict what the semi-finals will look like, we'll be able to predict who can be potentially doubling and who can be potentially getting in for our bench boost, and starting to really nail down the chip strategy. But of course, I will show you what I'll be doing anyway, so just keep it locked on Vert. So into the transfers, and I can confirm that Cody Gakpo has actually left the building. I bought him for 7.6 million, and I assumed he would drop eventually because he hasn't been playing, and he actually has. So good thing I have brought in Matheus Cunha. Of course, we brought in Cody Gakpo for his back-to-back double game weeks. He got us 7 points, so it's not the end of the world, but he's just injuries, and now the fixtures aren't as good, and of course they blank. So pretty easy transfer considering that Matheus Cunha is just dynamite every time you watch him. He scored at Anfield, scored at Dean Court or the Vitality Stadium, whichever you want to call it, but he's very much fixture proof. So very simple transfer for me. So into the team selection, and Jordan Pickford travels to Brentford, with Everton unbeaten against the Bees in their last 5 league meetings. Of course, Everton have not been keeping that many clean sheets. In fact, they've conceded in their last 4. So let's at least hope for saves this time. Trent Alexander-Arnold welcomes a Newcastle side that just scored 4 goals on the weekend. So probably not best to ask for a clean sheet here either. But Liverpool are unbeaten in the Magpies' last 24 trips to Anfield, and they'll look to build on a very strong showing at the reigning Premier League champions yesterday at Man City with a win, I'm sure. So hopefully Trent can be involved on either end of the pitch, whichever way he wants. Some points would be nice, thanks. Gabriel Magalhaes and Arsenal travel to Nottingham Forest in a 2nd versus 3rd showdown. A result either way would be significant, with Forest in the hunt for Champions League and Arsenal looking to break away from the chasing pack. Arsenal have won the last 3 meetings before the two sides, but Forest have scored in all but 1 home league game this season. So let's hope for a very tight game. I'll be benching Lewis Hall again, as his side will be travelling to Liverpool, and even though they just scored 4, they just conceded 3 to Nottingham Forest, so I'm sure Liverpool can score at least 2 goals, which of course would give them -1, and I'm not too hopeful of an assist again. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'll think about it. before tomorrow. But yeah, James Hill will be starting as they're going away to Brighton, and of course this is a tight game in the fixture in the league table between the two sides. Mohamed Salah is now 12 goals and 5 assists from breaking the Premier League record for the most in either stat for the goals and assists. So surely he's just going to be the auto cap for the rest of the season. He does strike me as someone that chases records, not chases records, but wants to write his name into history. And he's even getting double digits away at Man City. So should we trust him at home to Newcastle? I think we should. And this is also a preview of the Carabao Cup final. So if you want to look into it, maybe Slot does want to give too much away, and of course it doesn't matter now in terms of the league. They've got enough points to drop and not give away what their real tactics will be in the final. I'm not sure. But Newcastle have conceded 2 goals in 9 of their last 10 trips to Anfield, and Liverpool scored at least twice in their last 7 home matches. So Bryan Mbeumo scored and assisted in Brentford's 4th away league win in a row on Friday, but they've lost 5 home games in a row also, a run that includes losing to Championship side Plymouth in the FA Cup. Everton have not kept a clean sheet for 4 games, however, so let's hope for some points here. Brighton and Bournemouth are separated by just 3 points and 3 places in the league, which makes this a very direct race for Europe. So hopefully it's filled with goals, as each of Brighton's last 4 games have featured at least 3 goals or more. Joseph Kluivert missed a big chance on Saturday, so hopefully we'll put that right tomorrow. Cole Palmer and his struggling Chelsea host a struggling Southampton side that have conceded at least 3 goals in 6 of their last 7 matches. So the real debate is he worth the armband? Well, in the reverse fixture, I actually backed Palmer because he was going away to St Mary's over Salah, who was going away to St James's Park. Palmer got a single tap-in and Salah went off for 18 points. So do I make the same mistake again? I'm not actually too sure at the moment. I do think form is very important. Of course fixtures are important as well, but it's not that Newcastle are a resilient defence, and Salah is just in Ballon d'Or form. Yes, he is in Ballon d'Or form at the moment. I don't think there's anyone better than him in Europe. Maybe you can have your opinions, but Vinny, Rafinha, they're not putting up the same numbers, and the Premier League is for sure a more difficult league. So Salah captain for me at the moment. Chris Wood will welcome Arsenal in, as I mentioned, a very second versus third showdown, but he didn't do too much. He didn't even have a shot on target away at Newcastle. Of course, Arsenal are meant to be good at defending, but they just conceded and lost at home without even scoring. So interesting to see what happens here. Matheus Cunha gets his first start in the team as he welcomes Fulham. Very interesting stat that Wolves are actually unbeaten in each of their last 15, so 1-5, home matches against the Cottagers, and they've scored at least twice against them in each of the last 3 meetings, including a 4-1 win result at Craven Cottage this season in the league, a game in which Cunha had 2 genuine goal of the season contenders. So let's hope he's in the mood for it this time again. And Alexander Isak travels to Anfield, a place where he actually got his first Premier League goal. So perhaps he got a brace. Maybe should have had a hat-trick yesterday. Let's hope for some more goals. Morgan Rogers will be on the bench because he's even a doubt, and I don't really back Aston Villa away to Crystal Palace anyway. Hall's on the bench, as I mentioned, and she is just emergency backup, I guess. So that's the team for this week. We've got a new player, so make sure you don't forget the deadline. Drop any questions you have in the comments, DM me on Instagram and Twitter, and drop me a follow there as well at FPL Vet. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.